Hey everybody, hope you're having a great day, and if your day isn't going so great, well, I hope that it at least turns around or it's over soon. Recently, I posted a video about asking a girl out on a date, and in that video, I talked a little bit about rejection. It's funny because I got some responses asking more about how we deal with that. Rejection's a part of the human experience, and it's something a lot of us are terrified of. Whether it's asking somebody out on a date and being told no, to applying to a school or a college, or going to get a job somewhere and being turned down, rejection stings. I think part of the fear comes from the fact that we don't really know how to deal with rejection well. When we get rejected, there's a couple of emotions that happen, and they're okay, normal emotions. I just want to say that. It's okay if you ask somebody out on a date and they say no, to feel awkward. It's okay to be sad when we get rejected because that thing we hoped would happen isn't going to happen anymore. And it's okay to feel a little bit angry too. It's okay to ask questions like why and what could have been different and what did I do? Those emotions are things we can't necessarily control when they hit us. But once they hit us, we can control how we deal with them. So I want to talk about rejection and how we walk through the rejection process. And it's different for if you are getting rejected by a woman who you've asked out on a date or you've asked to be your girlfriend. And then if you got rejected from like a school or a job or a club or sports team you really want to be a part of. Here's why. Because women are people and romantic situations are different. There's some different rules at play here than the stuff that's like jobs and sports and things that aren't people. Let's talk about getting rejected if you ask somebody out and they say no. The first thing you're going to want to maybe do, or at least that you think, is to ask why. But when we want to ask why of that person, we don't really have any business doing that. You see, in romance, sometimes there just is a spark, and sometimes there isn't. Sometimes a woman just isn't interested, and that we can just leave it at that. We don't need to say, well, what could I have done better in my approach? Is it the clothes I'm wearing? What is it? We just leave those things go. We walk away, and we can ask ourselves some other why questions, but we have to be honest in realizing that sometimes that just isn't going to work. We can ask, is there anything I could have done better? Now, most of the time, there's not. It just is a romance thing. They're not interested, and there's nothing you could have done better. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're undateable. It doesn't mean you're unlovable. It just means that with that person, they're not interested. But sometimes there might be some things you need to fix in your life. I had somebody email me a while ago asking how they could get back together with their girlfriend. They knew why they had been dumped, why they had been rejected, because they were partying too much, they were into some things they shouldn't have been into, and their girlfriend eventually was like, I've had enough, I'm done. His email was asking me what he could do to win her back. In looking at himself, he identified why she had left. You might have the same experience. You ask out that girl who's got a lot of good morals, she is a faithful Christian, she is trying to do her very best with her life, but you're not. She's not going to let you drag her down in a relationship. She's a self-aware woman, and maybe you've got some things in your life that you need to fix. You need to fix them for you, not so that eventually she'll date you. I think that's kind of a crappy way to approach relationships with women, like there's some project or some conquest. It's a really bad thing to do. Now, you might work on some things in your life, and maybe a relationship works out, but you know what? Even if it doesn't, you worked on some bad things in your life and became a better person. I think that's worth it. So when we're rejected by a woman, we want to honestly ask why. We don't want to make up all these stories like I'm unlovable, I'm undateable, and we also don't want to get super down on ourselves, but we do want to be honest about things that maybe we fell short on and recognize that at the end of the day, maybe it just wasn't going to work out, and that's totally fine. Now, in non-dating situations, the rules are a little bit different because we're going to be honest about the why. Why did I get rejected? But you can ask those people why if there's a point of contact to ask. I've had a couple of jobs that I've applied to throughout my life where I did not get the job. I really wanted the job, but I didn't get the job. And so I called and I asked them why. Now, sometimes, actually most of the time, you will get a response from somebody and it varies in depth. You might just get because there was somebody more qualified. And you might get something like, because in your interview, you wore jeans to a professional interview. And we didn't think you were super serious about the job. Now, again, that might sting a little bit, might make you angry, but now you've learned something. So it's okay in dealing with situations of that kind of rejection to ask why. But do it in a professional manner. Don't do it in an accusatory angry way, and be prepared for some honest feedback. And just like in a relationship, be honest about the why for maybe reasons you fell short. Did you not really send in a good resume? Did you not work hard in school and that's why you're not getting into the college you want? Is the sport you tried out for actually not something that you're going to be very good at? Like, as much as I practice, I'm only going to be okay at basketball. That is my tier. I'm going to be an okay basketball player. I know we told everybody to chase your dreams and be whatever you want, but all of us have different gifts and talents. If you think about it, it's kind of disrespectful to our Creator when we take the gifts and talents that He's given us and we say, no, I'm not interested in cultivating those. I want to try this other thing that you really haven't called me towards, but it maybe makes me more money, or I think that it'd be more attractive, or it looks like it'd be more fun. Be honest with yourselves, because sometimes the reason we don't get something is actually a huge blessing, because it wouldn't have been something we'd have been good at anyway. But if there are areas where you can make changes, use it as motivation to do better, to become a better version of yourself, to become a holier version of yourself, to cultivate what God has given you and to be a good steward of it. Rejection's a part of life. It just is. You're going to get rejected someday, and maybe it's happened recently. It sucks to be rejected in a dating situation, but remember, be honest about the why. For the woman's part, it doesn't matter. We respect her and we say whatever her reasoning is, doesn't matter. She's not interested. We walk away kindly. We don't get angry. We don't get upset. We let it go. We let it be awkward. We let it sting, and then we're done. But look at things that maybe in your life you could change to become a more dateable person, because maybe there are some things in your life that are not making you the most attractive companion that you could be. And ultimately, those are things you need to change, not because you want a girlfriend, but because you need to be the best version of who you are. And if you get rejected in any other situation, do a little bit of digging. Ask them what you could do better. Learn. Use it as an opportunity to grow, and use those rejections and those failures as places where you can learn a little something about yourself and learn a little bit of something about what can make you the best you can be. If you enjoyed this video, share it with somebody who needs to learn a little bit about how we deal with rejection and how we can use it as a springboard to actually become a holier, better version of ourselves. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe. New videos every single Tuesday talking about all kinds of things. So if there's something you'd like to hear about, I'd love to hear about it too. Put it in the comments below and maybe we'll get to that topic in a future video. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you all soon.